Hey folks, Simon here from Wild Earth, once again coming to you from the Canadian Rockies, and today I'm here to talk to you about the Big Agnes Copper Spur. So firstly, just to list off a few of the specs for you, bear in mind my version is the Mountain Glow version, so it is about 40 or 50 grams heavier than the normal Copper Spur 2-man. But with that in mind, the trail weight is 1.28 kilograms and the packed weight is 1.45 kilograms. That's probably more the weight you need to worry about. And that's a great weight for a backcountry hiking tent. It is a fully freestanding tent and uses a DAC featherlet pole system. It comes with double side entry and double vestibules. And the fabric as well is a double ripstop nylon of mixed denier throughout. And it also has fully tape sealed seams. So a great option for any backcountry camping or any hiking trips you might need to go on. But main thing is, let's see how easy it is to put up. So the most sensible way to start, especially if it's a little bit windier like it is today, is if you can, lay out your tent on a flat surface and peg down all four corners. If it's not so windy, you can do this without the pegs and just go straight for the poles. But once you've got it pegged down, poles go together really simply. Just kind of spring together, and again fully color coordinated as well. The Copper Spur isn't a symmetrical tent, so what that means is the ends of the poles are color coordinated. You've got grey ends for the grey tabs in the tent, and then you've got orange ends for the orange end of the tent. Simply pop the orange end of the poles into the orange tabs on the ground sheet, and then come over and bend up and put the grey into the grey tabs on the ground sheet as well. Once this is done, you can simply use these orange clips and clip the tent up onto the frame like so. Once that's done, you are going to find you've got one smaller pole. This is the cross piece for the top of the tent. So pop this up, pop a clip on, and you've got these really nice little plastic attachments here, or you can simply just pop those onto the ball socket. Again, that colour coordination comes in with the tabs here. The fly is going to clip in to the bottom of the poles there. So again, orange on orange, grey on grey. Super simple. I find the first thing to do with the fly is to grab these little pockets underneath and just pull these over and slide them over the end of the cross piece there as well. Do that on either side, and then the fly is in place and you're not going to end up with it being wonky in either direction. Pop the other pocket on. And there's some little Velcro tabs you're going to find on the inside that you're going to Velcro onto the pole here. They simply just go on round the poles as well. And make sure you do those up on each side just before you pull the fly down. And then these just clip in nicely to the bottom of the pole. We've got the grey clip on the fly as well as the grey clip on the ground sheet. That simply just clips on in, and then you can tighten that as well, making sure you get that fly super tight. And then it's always worth pegging down your vestibule as well. It does come with a couple of guys as well in the tent if you feel like you want to add a bit more kind of stability if you are out there in the very windy conditions. It's always worth throwing the guys in as well. The only issue I've had with any water pooling on the tent at all is just in this little section here between the poles. If you don't get the fly tight enough, you might find you get a little bit of pooling just here, which isn't really a problem, but is a bit frustrating because you feel like you need to knock it off like throughout the night. So keep it nice and taut, and then you won't have any problems at all with that either. As for dimensions of the Copper Spur 2-man, you are going to find it's a little bit smaller than some tents, say like the MSR Hubba Hubba. That's due to its tapering at the foot end of the tent. You've got 132 centimetres of width at the head end, 102 centimetres of height, but only 107 centimetres wide on the foot end. So there is a little bit less floor space than some tents that are truly symmetrical. So looking inside the tent, you do have these really nice zippers here as well, double zips, one across the bottom there and one going up over the top. Nice and easy to get in. So the Copper Spur 2 is pretty spacious inside. For one person, it's great. Two people in a backcountry tent, there's always a little bit of a squeeze, but certainly possible. But the head height here is 102 centimeters. So that has been ample for me. I feel like I can sit up here, two of us could sit up and play cards, and I have spent many a rainy day in Slovenia having a couple beers or eating some pizza whilst sitting up in my tent and reading a book. As for storage inside the tent, you can see I've got this mesh pocket to the left of me here. This actually has some nice little earphone holes as well, so you can run a cable down from your phone if you want to listen to music at night. On the right hand side here, I've got a nice gear loft. Really well positioned. If you sit up, you can just chuck your gear in there as well. Really easy to find stuff in the middle of the night. We also have multiple mesh pockets on the sides as well, so plenty of places to store gear and stay organised. So as I mentioned before, my tent's actually the Mountain Glow version. What that means is, you can see this little box here. You can put batteries in there, and then there's actually LEDs sewn in all the way around the seams through here. They're barely noticeable, but when you turn them on, there's a couple different settings and it lights up the whole tent. So super useful, and it only adds about 40 or 50 grams of weight to the tent. So it's a feature that I've really enjoyed, and I'll actually just take batteries out of my head torch, pop them in there, and then you're good to go. So given the Copper Spur's weight, pack down size, and some of the other practical features that it offers, it really is a great option to consider if you're into backcountry hiking or looking at just a small tent you can pop into your bag and fly abroad with you on a holiday. I've owned this tent for a little while now and it's never let me down. It's always kept me dry. So if you get the opportunity to go into a Wild Earth store, set it up, check it out, have a bit of a play, there is definitely a reason why this is one of the best selling tents that we have. So check it out, the Copper Spur Ultralight 2-Man.